These days I'm in the kitchen. It is part of my recovery therapy. What this video is about: aiding kit. What am I carrying with me when it comes to emergency health aiding up on the mountain? I had a viewer to the channel asking me, what do you use? Can you showcase that? I'm trying to keep it as small possible. This is it, and now it is what I will do. I will speak to you about it. Now, short parenthesis. I was saying that I'm in the kitchen. It is part of my recovery therapy. I was thinking last night while baking, why society did go in that direction to weaponize the kitchen when it comes to families, and then men and women against each other. It takes time. It takes a lot of time to be in the kitchen. Of course, being together means life. You choose that, right? It is your family, it is your legacy, and family should be the single most important thing, should be, but it isn't. And society didn't evolve in that direction to, instead of weaponizing against each other or the kitchens, to explain that, first of all, each one of us, man or woman, should know how to do it, how to cook, how to take care of him or herself. And from there, with education and knowing more and more, well, comes balance, right? Of course, it is a very complex topic. So, aiding kit. This is what I carry. Now, when it comes to aiding, it really depends on medical emergency kit. When it comes to this, it really depends on who you are and the activity you are entertaining. It's not that simple, not that easy, not that straightforward. Usually I don't have health issues, and if I have them, I'm not going out. So if I know I have something, if I can manage it, then I go. If I don't, I don't. So this is very important. If I have a sprained ankle, for example, I might not go do a sprained ankle. If I'm recovering from a sprain, then I might not entertain certain activities. I will avoid that. If I know I have a bad stomach, again, I will not go. I will just stay home. But it really depends. Now, if you know you have things that are manageable and you need certain medication, you'll have that with you. For example, one thing that happens, and probably I will record a video about this, I will think about it. After long periods of not going out, which to me happens so often, when I return back to it, it takes time to adjust. One of the symptoms when I start going at high altitude is the sickness. You get dizzy and you are about to lose your consciousness. You don't feel right. So you should have probably something for that. I never take because pain is good. I manage that. But for example, this is an example. Now, you might want to have that with you, which I never bothered to do, and I should. What am I afraid most when it comes to health while doing activities? Injuries that lose a lot of blood. That one is what makes me extremely afraid. I'm extremely afraid about that because it is one of the things that if it happens, it is very dangerous in my opinion, because if you break something, if you feel sick, you might still be able to somehow advance or get out of it or stay and wait for someone. But if you lose blood, that one it can be deadly. It depends on how you lose the blood. But it is what scares me and worries me the most. Because of that, I have bandages, a lot of them. So I have these ones. Then I have the Tourniquet. What's the name? Tourniquet. No, I have this one. It is a professional one. It has everything it needs to help you do the job properly, to stop the bleeding properly. Now, with a tourniquet, what you have to, and I don't have, is you always have to write the time when you applied that for the medics to know for how long it was applied. And I don't have something to write. So I was always lazy about that. I should fix it now. A tourniquet and then bandages. Now I have some elastic bandages, and they have a double roll. I will speak in a moment. Some more bandages. Again, bleeding is what worries me the most when it comes to the mountain. And then some tape to fix the bandages. So bleeding is my most worry, because plus minus it is the most dangerous thing that can happen when you are out there. To bleed, not to have a small cut, to bleed. It can happen. You might fall, you might hit a rock, and it might cut something that should not be cut. And that one is dangerous. So I have all this for covering the bleeding aspect. Then it might happen that, again, you fall and you have a small cut and you want to stop the bleeding there, and you treat that. To do that, to clean it, I have oxygenated water. What is the name in English? So it's the thing that you apply to clean up the area, quite bulky and big. Most probably I will give up on it because the role of it is not that important, and you might be able to even clean up with water and then move to what is really important. Betadine was the name of it. This is the brownish substance. Well, it's an antiseptic, and this is the right thing to have with you. If you want to clean a cut, then you should have Betadine. I think this is how you pronounce in English. It is an antiseptic, and it does a very good job. And I always have, this is the name in this language here. Can you see it? Yes, so I have this with me. I was saying that I have these elastic bandages just in case you sprain an ankle or a knee, and you might need to fix it for emergency. But again, when I know I go on climbs where this might happen, I have something else which will help me keep in place the joints. Now, for the ankles, I have the boots. For the knees, I have something else. But still, if something happens, I will have this elastic bandage. To cut bandages, I have this talc. This is the name of it. I have some powder because it can happen during summertime. You are sweating, and sometimes under your arms, for example, in between your legs, burns might happen. Talc will keep it dry, and this might help. But you have to learn how to apply it. It's not that straightforward. You apply it and it's done. You have to be smart about it because sweat with talc can make it even worse. Then, more bandages. This is for small cuts. Then comes the pills. I don't have that many pills because usually what can happen is you might have a bad stomach. Usually I deal with that. I don't need to take a pill. So yes, I usually don't take a pill when I have it. But then what you have to think about is, what if you drink water you should not, and that can happen. You get sick and you need something to stabilize it a bit. So you have to think about that. Then you might have joint pain just because of the effort. And enduring that might be very hard. You need something to manage that type of pain. Then, again, if something happens with your stomach for various reasons, either drinking water you should not drink, you're not supposed to drink, or even eating something, or you just get a bad stomach. You have to cover that case scenarios, and there are different pills. I will not tell you what I have here because it is based on where you are and what you'll find. I'm only telling you the symptoms you have to treat. Good. So you have that with the stomach. Then, for example, what happens with me, if I feel that I start getting a cold, and we speak about mostly winter mountaineering here, I always want to make sure I manage that ahead of time, because if it is a 2, 3, 4 days trip, I don't want to get sick. So I have always with me something to manage that. If I feel that it is about to happen, then best to try to manage it until I'm getting back to the bottom of a mountain. Good. So I have that. What else do I have? Headaches. Again, it's more about managing pain. Now the headache, I usually don't have them. There is more about who you are and your profile. Manage the stomach because it's very important when you go out there. Then manage the pain, the pain of your joints, in your joints when it happens. That one you can manage, and it can help you complete that route. Then headaches, manage that because it can happen. Plus minus, this is what you can fix with pills. So you have to have that basic stuff that will help you go through it up to the end of it, because it might impair you and that one might put your life in danger. Internal body pain, then if it happens that you get into trouble with your stomach because you drink water or some other reasons, and then losing blood. To me, that one is the most important. The small cuts, I have enough here to treat them. Betadine as an antiseptic, and then all these bandages. So, and they can happen, and it is good to have it, because otherwise you lose performance. It's not necessarily about the bleeding, which might be small, but you don't want the cut to get infected, and then you don't want to lose performance. For that, you should be able to treat it on the road immediately and to treat it right. And if it is a larger one, again, you want to have bandages to make sure, larger bandages to make sure you put it together, and even if it doesn't bleed, to make sure you can continue and it doesn't get infected. To me, the most important, the critical thing that anyone should have is a tourniquet and some long, large bandages to treat massive bleeding, because if it happens, then that's that. You should train yourself, and of course it really matters on how the event happens and if you really still have ability to aid yourself. But if you are alone when this happens, think about that. Okay, do I have any cuts? Do I have to stop that and focus on that? Because of course it is life-threatening. If you break something, well, it is the internal bleeding, but that one, there is nothing you can do there other than praying, hoping someone will come fast and save you. So we only speak here about things that you can manage. For sure, I forgot 100 things, but in my experience for so long, this is what I usually needed, or this is what usually scared me. Yes, and it is why this is what I have with me. I hope it helps.